Today on Destination Polaris, we're off to SoCal to hang with the guys from SDR Motorsports. They're gonna build a super sick dune machine. Destination Polaris starts right now.
Destination Polaris is presented by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
Welcome to Destination Polaris and Project X. We are at the home of SDR Motorsports in sunny Southern California. Another perfect day here. Let's head in the shop and see what these guys are up to.
SDR stands for Sand, Desert, River. That's basically where we go to play. We're in Corona, California. Corona is in Southern California, about 2 hours from LA.
Tim.
Jared,
hey.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you,
Time
buddy?
no see,
yeah, absolutely.
So what's been a couple years now?
I'd say it's probably been 3 years.
3, 4, whatever it's been, right?
Yeah.
So new facility, right? New build. Excited to have you here. You want to check out the place?
I would love a tour. Let's
go check it out.
All right. So this is the new SDR.
New SDR.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. Well, you know, you came at the right time. Everybody's at lunch, so it's
you know where they went?
In and out, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So you're gonna meet them all there.
I'm on my way after this.
So it's not as noisy as it usually is, but yeah. So this is the new shop. This stuff over here is probably our newest, most exciting stuff. This is our laser. So this allows us to cut everything in-house, so we can design it, bring it over here, cut it all out, then take it over here to the press brake and bend it. What SDR looks like today, again, is just the focus on production and manufacturing. We've made a huge investment in production and manufacturing equipment, a laser, press brake, you know, on the R&D side with 3D scanning capabilities, a true engineer to help us design and develop all these parts, make sure things fit. Down here's our welding area. So we have 6 full-time welders. We've got 3 over here that weld, you know, doors, bumpers, all that stuff all day. And then these 3 bays here are for the cages.
Yeah.
Or we're welding basically 3 cages together all day, every day. We're building about 15 to 20 cages a week. We stay pretty busy. It's still the tried and true. It's still doors, bumpers, cages. That's really our bread and butter. That's what we do all day, every day. Every time we make like major changes in the company, you guys come around. The same is true this time with new facility, new direction, and a lot of exciting stuff. We're excited about where we are, what we're doing, and where we're going. So for this build, we chose the Pro XP platform first and foremost. We went with the 4-seat chassis because that's obviously the 4-seater is the most popular. We want to show everybody that not only can we make this car look good, right, but we can show you how much better the new platform really is versus the old platform. But what it really boils down to for me personally, right, is ergonomics, right? The sitting position of the car, the driving position of the car, the layout of the dash, all of these things are so much better, in my opinion, than the previous generation. We're throwing the book at it, as we always do. We're gonna call this one Mayhem. Rather than build the car here, we wanted to bring in one of our build partners, Corona Motorworks. So we're putting everything we've got at it. We've got grills, we've got doors, we've got cage, we've got bumpers, all the parts that we make for the Pro XP. We've got some storage solutions for the doors and the bed that give you lots of places to put wallets and sunglasses and coolers and drinks and sweaters and spare parts and all that other stuff. The biggest thing is we designed a brand new bumper for the build for this show. It's just a new design that we've got. What we've seen with most bumpers, especially out in the sand dunes, is it basically becomes a big shovel. We wanted to look at the bumper from the perspective of how can we get this thing up out of the way so that it still gives you protection, still gives you what a bumper is meant to be for, right? But it's up, tucked up out of the way so that it's not digging into the sand every time you come down the dune. We've kind of gone into the future a little bit with our new Creoform 3D scanner. So what that does is we can pull the car in, pull the scanner out, scan the car, right? And it gives us all of that data in a 3D environment. We then take that data, put it into SolidWorks, and that allows us to design the part from scratch virtually on the car. Make that part, fit it on the car, and usually that first or second try, everything's pretty much right on. We've got shock therapy on board, we've got rugged radios on board, we've got HCR on board. Shock therapy is relatively new. We've done stuff with them in the past, but we're really excited to get some hands-on from them. I mean, they sent the boss out, right, to take a look at this thing and make sure we've got it all dialed in, so we're excited about that. Rugged radios, we started with rugged radios back in 2009, 2010, I think was the first time we did something with them, so we're excited to do another project with them. Rockford Fosgate is a new one on this car. We've actually never done a project with Rockford Fosgate before, so that's exciting to see their product, see how it performs, see the fit and finish of it. And then we went to, you know, all of our longtime partners. PRP for the seats, we've got Wolf Graphics for the graphics, and I don't really want to give away too much more because I want to keep some surprises.
So the guys have the machine all prepped and ready to go, and when we come back, we're gonna get started on building Project Mayhem. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Rugged Radios, the authority in communications. Rockford Fosgate, purpose-built audio. Full throttle battery, the one that works. And by Super ATV, the leader in aftermarket parts and accessories.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. Our RZR is prepped and ready to go. Let's start this build with suspension.
So Shock Therapy is an aftermarket suspension tuning company that concentrates specifically on UTVs. So if you're looking to get your Polaris tuned specifically for your needs, maybe you've added accessories to it, extra weight, things that the factory could not have compensated for, we're the place you go to make that perfect. And then we'll modify spring kits according to the weights, and we'll modify the internals of the shock to try and nail it for your driving style. Typically, once we've made our changes to the vehicle and you've driven it, it is so drastic, maybe the 70–80% improvement range. With this particular build, with all of the accessories that are added to it, we've done a full dual rate spring kit that's tailored from all the spring rates to fit with these accessories on this UTV, especially knowing that we're going to be going to the dunes. But once we change to our kit with an upper and a lower spring, divider, and a crossover, when this system compresses, this divider contacts this crossover ring, negating the upper spring, and now you're on a heavier lower spring. So the plush factor goes through the roof because we can tailor the kit to be a lot more smooth at ride height.
With the Pro XP being a 64-inch wide car from the factory, the HCR kit widens that out to the same as the Turbo S at a 72-inch wide car. So on this car especially, it makes a huge difference. Performance, handling, everything else, especially looks. So HCR, it's our go-to guy for suspension, right? We work with them on almost every project we do, and you can see why. I mean, this stuff is just gorgeous. And then to top that off and make everything work right, on the Walker Evans shocks, we've got shock therapy valving with shock therapy springs, right? So that kind of compensates for that wider suspension travel, right? That increased leverage on the shock. On the axles, we go with the Super ATV Rhino 2.0 axle. What we really like about this axle on this application is you don't have to take anything apart. Right, just pull the stock axle out, put the new axle in. It's already 3 inches longer, right? So it's the perfect width for this car. Wheels, tires, we got a few things left to put on this one. This is the big dog tire. So this is a 32-inch Sand Sport side-by-side tire from Metal Effects. It's brand new, right? These are like the first set, so don't tell anybody we have them. It's a custom groove by the guys here at Corona Motorworks. So this tire's super light. You know, that weight makes such a huge difference when you're in the sand. Having light wheel, light tire, gets the power to the ground, lets the car rev up, keeps it up on boost, and lets it do its thing. This is the new bumper that we designed. So what we did here is we see a lot of cars bashing up the bottom right here, especially in the dunes when you come down, hit the bottom, it just scoops sand. What we did is we raised the skid plate as high as we could, still offering all that protection that you need, right, but getting it up out of the way so it's not, you know, scooping the sand. Nice mounting plate so you can put whatever kind of lights you want on it. Clean, simple, effective. That's how we like it. It's been a while since we've done a car that had a lot of power, and we figured it was time to return to that. So Evo Power Sports, Corona Motorworks, they jumped on board with us. We put the STM clutches on. It's got all the Evo stuff in it, even some stuff we're not even allowed to talk about. This thing should be putting about 270 to the wheels, so it should be fun to drive, to say the least.
How much of a jump is that?
Stock's 190, so we're going almost 100 horsepower more. There's no such thing as too much power, so especially for the sand. This is a big car, 4-seater, right? It's got cage, suspension, everything on it, so we want power to be able to push this thing through the sand.
We got the suspension wrapped up, wheels and tires, some of the plastics, front bumper. We got a lot done, but there's still more to do. Stick around, you're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by Walton's, everything but the meat. Aluma Trailers, Aluma Adventure, take fun anywhere. Razorback Off-Road, hardcore products for your side-by-side. And by Shock Therapy, the premier UTV suspension tuning company.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. Project Mayhem is halfway complete, and today we're going to finish it off.
Well, I'm happy to be here with SDR for sure. We ended up putting in their car. We did our RDM dual band radio setup in our multi-mount right here. VHF, UHF, digital and analog. It's just next level stuff to have in your, for communications in your UTV. This is kind of our premier radio right now. With the mount in the Pro XP, we did was we took and put it right in the center right here, right where the switches used to be. We cut those out, drop this in, it moves your switches down in here, puts the radio where it's really easy to see. You can get to it really, really easy. So we've got our Mac 3.2 blower, comes out, there's a variable speed controller that goes with this, so you can turn it up, turn it down, depending on how much air you want. And then new for this year, this is actually our Mac XC hose. So this will attach to your helmet. When you're in the car, all you gotta do, this will be up here mounted to the bar. That just magnetizes on, you're all hooked up. When you get out of the car, it just pulls free.
The Pro XP they're installing today is gonna be a stage 4.
The
Stage 4 system from Polaris, co-engineered with Rockford Fosgate, it's really an epic system. It is loud. It is built to be over the top, extreme performance, and it's available right from Polaris, so you know it's going to fit in, everything's going to bolt in, it's going to work correctly. So the Stage 4 kit uses a set of 6.5-inch components up front, 2 amplifiers, 400 watts each, 400 on the highs, 400 on the bass, a 10-inch subwoofer, 6.5-inch rear coaxials. We created it for that guy that wants more output, more performance, more bass, and just more style. The amplifiers that power this are off-road ready amplifiers, so they're rugged. They're built to play all day long. So it doesn't matter where you go, what you put them through, I promise you the amplifiers won't run out of gas. This is going to let you basically connect either your cell phone for media or grab the radio waves. So you have any audio or media input available through this unit. You want to stream some Bluetooth, you want to stream some Pandora, any of those things are available from this right from your cell phone. So one of the really slick things about working with Polaris is we didn't come in afterwards when the vehicle was built and bolt some speakers down and low. We actually started when the vehicle was in clay, working with the designers at Polaris going, hey, how can we make this more rider-centric? What I mean by rider-centric is you'll look at the speakers integrated into the dash. Also, there's a tweeter, 1-inch tweeter integrated up into the pillar. What that does is that aims everything right at the driver, focus everything in, makes it really perfect for the driver in terms of sound quality and listening experience.
Important to make sure we don't put front, rear, right? So, but yeah, so it's on. Let's bolt this thing down. Usually we have like our fastback cage, which is our most popular cage. This one's more of a flat roof. I just thought with this car, with the angular profile of the car, the lines and everything else all being straight, that flat roof style really looks good with it. Plus we haven't done that in a while, so it's kind of cool to go back to that. And this one with a PRP XC seat, which is a nice suspension seat, so plenty of padding, obviously in colors to match the rest of the car. Looks really good.
Tim, you guys have been building doors for a long time.
A little bit, yes. Couple days.
I think you guys know what you're doing.
Yes, we like to think so. And this door for the Pro XP, I think is the best door we've ever built, right? The fit, the finish, the adjustability of it, everything else, I think is by far the best one we've done.
It's been a while since we built a sand car. SDR and the guys here did an amazing job. Only one thing left to do. Next stop, Glamis. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is sponsored by RZ Mask. Get 99.9% filtration from dust and dirt. Flow Fast. Riders need to flow fast. Polaris Adventures. Adventure everywhere. And by Switch Pros. Programmable switch panel power systems.
Welcome back to DP. We made it to Glamis, and now it's time to let Project Mayhem loosen the dunes.
Let me tell you a little bit about why we call it Project Mayhem. We really had to pull everything together and mash the pedal from the beginning to get this thing done, so hence the name Mayhem. To do that, we had to pull together people we knew we could rely on, people we knew we could trust, people we'd worked with before. Evo Power Sports with all that stuff, PRP seats, rugged radios, the list goes on, and then of course, all of our stuff. On this car, we debuted a couple of new products. First one is our new front bumper. This is our Duner style bumper. It has a skid plate that's tucked up really high, so when you're coming down through those transitions, you're not scooping sand up over the hood. We call it, taking some sand over the bow. So to get this thing out here in Glamis and really get it to motor through the dunes, we went with big tires, big horsepower. We got the Evo Power Sports 270 kit, which is exhaust, all of the intake tubes, the V-Flow intake. And that should push us through the sand with all kinds of power to spare. To get the shocks working right, we called on Shock Therapy. They set us up with their premier valving, their spring sets, their sway bar links, everything that they make for this car. Rugged Radio came in clutch with a full intercom and radio system. So we've got two-way radio communication and an intercom so we can talk within the car with each other. And then on top of that, we added their fresh air system. And what that does is it switch on the dash, we can control the airflow, and it pushes fresh air into our helmet. So for stereo, we called in Rockford Fosgate, and they sent us their whole litany of parts for it. This car, the Pro XP, actually comes with a factory stereo system in the dash, behind the rear seats. We added a sub and their new controller unit to it so that we can kind of fast forward through songs and play it loud. And as usual with Wolf, they just killed it on the design, the print, everything looks perfect. This thing is amazing. It's incredible what you can do with the new Polaris Pro XP chassis. This thing's almost unstoppable. The big thing about this thing through the dunes is the power. We've got tons of power everywhere we're going. We can keep the front end light. It'll go through anything out here with plenty of power to spare. We've got the big 32-inch metal effects tires. These are brand new tires. This is actually one of the very first sets, so not only are we running those out here, but we're also doing a little bit of testing with those guys. We're super happy with the way that the tire performs. And like I said, you gotta have the right tires out here. Keep them light, keep them fast. Call in a pro like Shock Therapy, let them set it up for you, because those guys know exactly what they're doing. This was off-the-shelf stuff. We sent them the shocks, they did their magic, we told them what we were doing, where we were driving, you know, what we're gonna have on the car, got all those technical specs to them. They set everything up, we put it in the car, drove it, and it was almost perfect out of the box. So when you take what Shock Therapy did with the shocks and then add in that extra width from the HCR Long Travel Kit, that car will literally go through anything you pointed at. We're real happy with this car.